So that was New Year's Eve. The next day was New Year's Day. And actually that night we heard like some, not like fireworks, but there was like a bell going off around midnight and a little bit of cheering outside, but like not too much. It wasn't very raucous at all. So the next day was New Year's Day. And New Year's Day is pretty big in Japan. Luckily, the neighborhood where we were staying had a local shrine. So we decided to go visit the shrine. We, like, originally, if our neighborhood did not have a shrine, we would have gone to like one of the bigger, I guess, more commercial touristy ones, but they would have been crowded, right? So I was very happy to see that they had a local one, and it was really not that far away. It was a very short walk away from where we were staying. So we went, and there were people obviously at the shrine doing their New Year's respects and prayers. So we go there. There's like a booth where people are collecting wishes and burning them in the fire. There's like the workers at the shrine all dressed up in their traditional outfits. There's people playing the drums here on the stage. They actually just started playing like right after we got there. So again, we were very lucky and just in time, got there just in time to hear them start playing the drums. There was a long lineup of people to go make wishes at the bell, and we were going to stay and do that, but the line was so long, we decided we would come back later because we had places to be, things to do. So the people working at the shrine came out and played the drums and the flute. So there was a long line of people waiting to go make their New Year's wishes. And this line went all the way out of the shrine and then across the street and then down like another 2 blocks. So there were a lot of people here. More of the line. So we decided we'll just come back here later today. So we go to Akihabara for the day because today is Eorzea Cafe Day. We have our appointment at the Eorzea Cafe. So we go to Akihabara. These are really cute. At the train station when you leave, there's a whole bunch of screens with like a sea otter telling you to enjoy Akihabara, swimming around. As soon as we get out of the station, we are greeted by Beelzebub, a giant Beelzebub Grand Blue Fantasy banner right outside the station. So this place is bustling, and right away I see there's an Arknight's Enfield advertisement on the building. There's a whole bunch of like places both for like arcades and gaming as well as like anime goods and merch. So across the street from where the Eorzea Cafe is, there's a taiyaki stand, and they actually sell Magikarp taiyaki as a little gimmick. So we decided to stop by there. Kieran's been here before, so he knew to look for it. I think the Magikarp ones only come in 2 flavors. There's the cream and the milk chocolate one. But then all the other fish are different flavors, but they're not Magikarps. So Kieran gets a Magikarp one. This is his Magikarp taiyaki. I get just a normal taiyaki. I think I got the strawberry chocolate one. But it was just a normal fish, so I didn't take a picture of it. In the back, you can see them making them all, which is really cool. I love seeing people make taiyaki. Taiyaki is also something I don't really get to eat very often, because there's not that many places that I know nearby that have it, so it's always a treat. So our appointment at the Eorzea Cafe is not for a while, so we decide to walk around a little bit. And in the station, we actually find the Final Fantasy XIV goods shop as well. So we decided to pop in and have a look and see what's there. So the goods shop is actually attached to a little food place, X Bar Tokyo, and then the shop is like attached to it on the side. So they have a whole bunch of cute merch on display there. You see all the plushies here. I love the barrel tender. Of course, the fat cat. The Loporrit. They're also selling the teacups, which recently, because we just had Starlight Celebration, which is the Final Fantasy XIV version of Christmas, they gave us emotes where we use all these like different cups themed after the different cities. They're actually selling those cups as well. There's also like an aetheryte lamp. I thought these were really cute. The little the corn guy. So they have like the acrylic standees as well. They have ice cube trays for the job stones. Like a lot of the stuff you can buy online as well, but I know Square Enix store charges a lot for shipping, so if you can get it in person, saves you a lot. So they have all the like the Dawn Trail standees, plus Emmett and Hythlodaeus. They also have like the Arcadian like graffiti as stickers and other things, like sewing patches and whatnot, which I thought was also very cute. Here's more pictures of the standees up close. We note that there is no Graha Tia standee for Dawn Trail, at least. I have the Endwalker one, but he did not get new art for Dawn Trail, it seems. We thought they were just sold out of him, but we later confirmed that there really just is not a Graha one for this set. They also have like the Chronicles of Light books as well. They have a bunch of like blind box stuff. You know, they love their blind box. Yeah, the Sphene and the Kryol standees I think were very pretty. And the Aaronville and the Kona ones as well. More plushies. I love the chef Paisa and the Serpent of Ronka ones. They're really cute. They also have the debuff pins, so you can get like debuffs, like vulnerability stacks and paralysis. You can also get CDs for the music, and they had like little music boxes as well. Very cute. More of the tiny little acrylic standees. I think these ones are also blind box, unfortunately. They had this like camping set on display as well, so you could buy like some of the camping stuff. More acrylics. Again, I think these ones are blind box as well, otherwise I would have gotten some of them. Of course, they have the Jobstone keychains and the magnets. More Serpent of Ronka. They have like uh the the Alliance medals or the Grand Company medals. They also had the jewelry, which I know is quite pricey, but they have them. Like the Elpis flower or the Asm crystal. So for those ones, you had to grab one of these tags and then bring them to the counter so that people wouldn't steal them because they're quite pricey. So we kept walking around, and then we found the Eorzea store, which I want to go check out because they have Arknight stuff. So this is the Eorzea store. There's a big screen on top of it where they play like videos and pictures of their characters and whatnot. Just to see what was there. Now, the majority of the Eorzea store was actually Blue Archive stuff. Very small other sections, but I took pictures of the other sections. There was an area where you could make your own like stamp thing. They only had like 3 or 4 pre-made designs, but they were like Arknight's characters and other ones. So you can see the Doctor from Arknights here on the screen. There was a Cookie Run section. I didn't realize that Yoastar also publishes Cookie Run. I thought they only did. I mean, I'm familiar with like a handful of the games they do, but they do a lot more than I thought. I'm not the Cookie Run person. So this was one of the banners for the Arknights area. So these are the characters that were mostly featured in the merch, which is one of the recent like artworks for one of the events. They had Flamebringer plushies. I was surprised because I know Flamebringer is popular in terms of getting fan art, but he's a 5-star character and not a 6-star character. And also he's not a girl, so I just wasn't expecting them to have that much merch of him. And he also doesn't, he only has 1 unit in the game as well, and it's like a 5-star event unit. I like Flamebringer. When I first started playing Arknights, I played it because it was his event that came out. I don't really play Arknights anymore, and I also stopped following the lore for it a long time ago, but I still like it aesthetically. So again, I was just surprised to see Flamebringer merch. I know he's popular among fan artists, but I don't think he's popular among like the general populace. And that's actually a common thing. Whenever we see Arknights merch in Tokyo, a lot of times there'll be some Flamebringer stuff with them. There's like quite a bit of Thorns and Elysium stuff too, which I thought was cute. A lot of it used this art, which I think is, I've seen this artwork online, it's cute. It's like Thorns, he's like mixing together some chemicals and some flasks, and there's an explosion, and there's a little chibi Thorns and Elysium being blown away by it. I think it's super cute. Although there's a little mud rock there as well. They had jewelry. Arknight's jewelry. Or Yostar jewelry. They had acrylic standees. They had more Flamebringer. These are the acrylic standees of the promotional characters who are up in forefront of this season, I guess. See, the art's so nice. If I still played Arknights, I would definitely be wanting to get some of it, but need to stop buying merch for things that, especially if I don't even play the game anymore. They also had this, like a Rhodes Island, like door hanger. Rhodes Island is the organization in Arknights. I'm not talking about Rhode Island, the state. More Arknight stuff, some pretty postcards and prints, some clothing items, like a mask, like a sleep mask. They also had this picture of this cafe menu, but I don't know where the cafe is. It was definitely not, I don't think it was in the shop. We also passed by this store. There was a Kingdom Hearts stuff inside, but they were closed. It was New Year's Day. So, we make it to Eorzea Cafe, and Eorzea Cafe is run by a group called Pacella, and they're the same group who does the Grand Cypher Kitchen, which is also in on the same floor as Eorzea Cafe. They're also the same group that did the Grand Cypher food that we ate at Grand Blue Fantasy Fest. There's also a Monster Hunter restaurant and bar here run by them as well. So Pacella is like a resort company. So this whole building is from them. So there it is, the Pacella building. There's the ad for Eorzea Cafe and Luida's Bar for Dragon Quest. There's like the Monster Hunters bar and the Grand Cypher kitchen. So here's at the front a bunch of display items showing a bunch of the Monster Hunter and Dragon Quest stuff. How fortuitous that the two biggest fandoms I have, Final Fantasy XIV and Grand Blue, both have cafe collaborations with the same group on the same floor of the same building. Makes it very convenient. Here's the Dragon Quest stuff. Very, very cute looking food. The thing with collaboration cafe food is, in terms of like decoration and looking cute and stuff, they go all out. It's like 10 out of 10. When it comes to the taste of the food, like it's not bad, but most of the time the food is rather normal tasting. Like it's not like extremely out of this world awesome quality food wise. It's just regular food wise, maybe a little bit above regular, but it's the decorations and the novelty that you're there for, plus the experience, and you usually get a bunch of little like treats and merch to take with you. So that's kind of the general experience we had whenever we went to any of these places. Hey Curtis, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So here's the other display cabinet. So first floor was Luigi's Bar and the Honey Toast Cafe. Second floor is Eorzea Cafe and Grand Cypher Kitchen, and then the Hunter's Bar was on the third floor. We were only here today for the Eorzea Cafe, and we actually come back the next day for Grand Cypher Kitchen. So those are the only two ones that we are interested in going to go see. So on the main floor, there's like display cabinets showing off a lot of merch for a lot of the series. So there's a Grand Blue display cabinet, and then there's also a Eorzea display cabinet, as well as Monster Hunter and Dragon Quest. They also had a New Year's display because it was New Year's, so they had a little Christmas tree and some New Year's items as well you could take pictures with. Oh yeah, and on the fourth and sixth floors, there's a karaoke bar as well. And then there's like event spaces above that. So some Monster Hunter displays, and then I had to take a picture of this. Apparently the karaoke bar has like a Basara themed area. I got excited going up the stairs because we saw this ad on the staircase, and I thought it was a Basara themed restaurant, and then it was like, oh, it's just a karaoke venue, so we didn't visit it, but it was nice to see again they hadn't forgotten Basara. So this is like the lobby area of the second floor. So when you go up there, Eorzea Cafe and Grand Cypher Kitchen, like I knew they were on the same floor, but I was told that they're like the rooms are across from each other, which technically they are, but when I think of that, I thought they were like two distinct locations on the same floor divided by some kind of hallway. But no, it's like they literally share the same reception area. So you go up there and there's a reception area, it's the same reception desk, and you go up and then you basically tell them which reservation you have, whether it's for Eorzea or Grand Cypher, and then they seat you afterwards. So these restaurants, you need to do reservations. You can't just walk in. Although there is at the entrance a QR code saying like, oh, if you don't have a reservation, scan this QR code and you might be able to do it. Usually there's openings. I think on all the days we went, there was still openings, but most of the openings were like mid-afternoon. Like all the actual lunchtime spots were taken. So when we came, I think it was I can't remember exactly what time, but it was mid-afternoon. We moved it on purpose because we were like changing our schedules around. It was pretty easy to change the appointment though. And these places are open around year long, so they have spots usually because even the locals who come here often probably have been here enough time, so it's not like they're always fully booked, which is nice. And the reason why there's appointments, you'll see later, is because of the way they do their merch and the stuff here as well. So you come here, you wait your turn to get into the reception area, and then you let them know which place you have the reservation for, and then they seat you, or they tell you to wait a little bit before seating you. There's also cabinets with all the merch on display. So there's the Grand Cypher section here, and then there's the Eorzea section here where you can also buy stuff. A lot of the Eorzea section stuff is the same stuff we saw in the Final Fantasy store earlier in the day, and a lot of that stuff is also stuff you can buy online, while the Grand Blue Cafe stuff is mostly stuff specific to just the cafe. So we get to our seats, and they give us the iPad. And so the way it works is that you just order on the iPad. They tell you what your time frame is. They tell you, okay, this is how long you're here for. This is by this time you need this is the last call for the kitchen. So you need to order all your food by this time, and then by this time you have to leave. So that way everything's organized, and it also gives the kitchen enough time to make all your orders. Because to be honest, a lot of times the orders take quite a bit of time to come out. And I understand because most of the time the food is very decorated. I think most of the time is spent just setting up the food and decorating it and making it look nice, and not actually like the cooking part of it. In addition, when you go here, you also get one free drink as part of the cover charge and one free coaster as part of the cover charge that you get to choose. So you get to choose which drink you want that's on the house. I say on the house, but it's part of the cover fee, so you've already paid for it technically. And then you also get to choose one coaster, and the coaster you choose is either a Scion or a job class. So you can see some of them here. as you order more food, you get free coasters, but the coasters are blind box, and there are some of them that are not available, I think, from the free choice. So for free choice, you get a Scion or a job class, and then all the coasters you get are blind box after that. Some of them are like patch artwork, some of them are concept artwork of certain like primals, some of them are Scions, some of them are job classes. It could be a number of different things. So we came on New Year's Day, and originally we weren't sure if we wanted to have an appointment before New Year's or after New Year's or both, because the menu actually changes. Because there's a Starlight Celebration menu, which is Christmas in Final Fantasy XIV, or there's a Heaven's Turn special menu, which is for New Year's. We came here on January 1st, and they were very nice, and they gave us the option to choose from both. So again, everything worked out. It was fate, luck, whatever it have you. So we had access to both Heaven's Turn and Starlight stuff, in addition to the regular menu. So this is the Starlight menu. And so these things, they change the special menu every couple months. I think the next one is, there's a Valentions one, a Valentine's Day one, and also they're doing a Arcadian heavyweight theme starting in April and March. So the Starlight Celebration menu has black truffle risotto. There's a strawberry pudding parfait. There's a Starlight Sentinel milk, which is the green one here. And then there is a Eorzea and Mombrida drink. So the key artwork for Starlight Celebration this year featured Eorzea and Mombrida, which is why they get a drink dedicated to them. For Heaven's Turn, there was Ishgardian beef stew. There was a Paisa Mont Blanc. There was a Happy New Year's latte, and then there was a Zantetsuken drink. So one of the rules here as well is that any dish that comes with like a decorative item, you're not supposed to take the decorative item home. However, a lot of the decorative items are edible. Like for example, the paisa here is just a piece of wafer, so you can eat it. But for example, like the little sword here on the Zantetsuken drink, you're not supposed to really take it with you, so they can clean it and reuse it. Of course, they can't really enforce the rule unless they're looking over you, but it's written on the thing when you come in. Orange, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to show you guys the regular menu. So this is the official website for Eorzea Cafe. So you just scroll down, and there's two locations listed here: the Akihabara and the Osaka one. So there's the grand menu, which is the regular menu. This is always available, although it does change every couple of years. And then the event menu just lists what is the rotating stuff. So I just showed you the Starlight and the Heaven's Turn stuff. That's the event menu right now. So let's look at the grand menu. So luckily, all the things on the menu do have English names on them, so you don't have to completely guess what they are. But most of the time, you just get the thing based on the novelty, right? Like you get it because you like how it looks, not necessarily how it tastes. So the monthly special drink was Halone the Fury, because I think it was the month of Halone. So we have like this one, the first one is Kryle's like vegetable spread. And then there was a Bestway Burrows salad and Ishgardian beef soup. We have Spriggan takoyaki. We have some fish and chips. Mahi fish and chips. And monster meat plate, which is like a meat spread. We have the Mughals cheese Hamburg kupo, which is like a curry thing. There was the fat chocobo bun and the fat cat meat bun. We have the adventurous tacos. I think these were sold out I think it said it was sold out. I can't remember. We have the mysterious sticky curry, which is based after that mud enemy, the poop enemy. We also have the pandemoni dawn, which is like a rice like dawn bowl based after pandemonium. We have some Gridanian pasta, and we have some premium assorted noodles from Garlemald. We have some sweet apple pie. We have Zero's Ether Parfait. I like how it has like a chocolate scythe in it. We have the Kani Senna themed dessert platter, the Oracles of Light and Darkness. We have the Boundless Expanse pancake, which is the Bismarck themed one. And then we have the Scion drinks. So we have Alphino, Alizé, Thancred, Eorzea. You can see the gun blade on Thancred. So you can see the flask with Eorzea. Vistola, Estinian, and Grahatia. Again, very decorative looking drinks. Most of them have like fun little wafer things to show off the weapons that you can eat. And then we have the job class stuff. So we have Paladin, Warrior, Dark Knight, Gunbreaker. White Mage, Scholar, Astrologian, Sage. Dragoon, Monk, Ninja, Samurai. Reaper, Viper, Bard, Dancer. But yeah, the little swords inside the Viper one, you're not really supposed to take those with you, but they're just like cocktail swords. And then you have the arrow feathers coming out of the Bard one. Machinist, Black Mage, Summoner, Red Mage. The Red Mage one is just neat because you have, like, you get two little shot glasses. One is white and one is black for the white and black magic, and then I guess you mix it according to your tastes and likings. And it has a little metal sword thing. And then you also have, like, your Machinist summon and your, like, Phoenix summon for those ones. Pictomancer is also cute because you get three little like capsules of red, blue, and yellow to mix into it, like a painter. And then you have like the Moogle's Fluffy Cocoa in hot or cold form. And then they just have regular drinks like beer and whiskey and regular soda, apple juice, ginger ale, tea, coffee, whatnot. So because we came on January 1st and they had both Starlight and Heaven's Turn stuff, we were lucky that we got the placemats for both of them. So usually when you go here, you get one placemat, and it's themed after whatever the theme is with the key artwork for it. And they were nice enough to give us both. In addition, we also got a little like New Year's Emma with Odin on it. Now the thing is, you'd obviously they're meant to be placemats, right? They're meant to be eaten on, but you don't want to get them dirty because you want to take them with you as a souvenir. So what you should do is you should just take the placemat and put it aside, and then on your way out on the main floor, there's actually a laminator machine that you can go and laminate your placemat if you want to keep it. Personally, I think it'd be nice if they just offered an option where you can pay and get a laminated one instead of having to take it downstairs and laminate yourself, which I'll talk about later, just because laminating is kind of a pain to make it turn out perfect because you have to do it manually. And also there's a bit of a lineup if there's a lot of people at the same time. But we got lucky and it wasn't that busy. So this is the Starlight Celebration one, which is, again, Eorzea and Mombrida. And then this is the Heaven's Turn art. featuring Edmont. So these are a bunch of the coasters. This is a picture from their official website. A lot of the patch artwork and official artwork. So every time you order a dish, you get a free coaster, but it's a blind box one, so you don't know what's inside. But again, you get to pick one coaster at the beginning that is your choice, which the Scion or the job class ones. So this is part of what the inside of the cafe looks like. The cafe is actually separated into 2 rooms. I'm guessing for the different seating, so they can prepare one seating while the other one's being used, and vice versa. So we go to this side, and this room is actually quite small. I counted; it probably only has about 30 seats in it. It's quite small and cozy, which is fine. The other room, we pass by it later and look inside. It looks bigger, but the experience is more or less the same. So this Eorzea cafe is mostly themed after Gridania. So the other Eorzea cafes in Japan are themed after different city-states, but this one is Gridania. So you'll see a lot of Gridanian stuff, and then there's like weapons on the wall, there's like Graha staff, there's like a white mage staff. I also saw like Estinian's lance mounted on another wall. There's a big portrait of Kani Senna. So for my free coaster, I picked Graha. I was going to pick the monk one, but then I realized, oh, you could pick a Scion too. So I decided to pick Graha. At first, I thought that whichever coaster you pick also corresponds to what your free drink is, and I wanted the monk drink, but turns out you don't need to order a different drink and a different coaster. You can order a different drink than the coaster. So I think we all picked Graha. All 3 of us picked Graha. We also got a free New Year's postcard with Yoshi P and Tataru on it, the key artwork, and the little Emma. Here's a close-up of the Moogles, and inside there's a glass display case where you can see all these like plaques. So when you come here, you get a loyalty card, and for every amount you spent, you get stamps. And then if you collect enough stamps, you can get one of these, basically. And some of these are signed too. You don't, obviously the one you get isn't signed, but I can see there's signatures here on some of these ones. So Kieran's already been to an Eorzea cafe, so he already had a stamp card, so he got the stamps because I'm not planning to go back that soon anyways. But the stamp card is kind of cool because it is decorated to look like a passport, and then you can choose which city-state you want it to be. So you can pick Gridania, Limsa, or Ul'dah and get like your passport saying that you're from Gridania, Limsa, or Ul'dah, which is neat. It's kind of cool that they take the extra effort to make it all decorative like that. So first round of drinks come by. I get the monk drink, obviously. It comes with like a little cup of nuts to represent your chakras, which I think is cute. The color gradient on the monk one is really nice. Honestly, though, it just tastes like a Shirley Temple. The drinks are all very pretty, but they don't... Not to say they taste bad, but they taste pretty normal. I think this one's the... What was this one? Astrologian? Kieran got this one. Oh no, I think this was the I know he got the Astrologian one and also the Mombrida one. Wait, let me double check the menu. Well, that's Astrologian, yeah, because there's little stars inside it. Later, he orders the Mombrida Eorzea one. Lork also gets the Dark Knight one too, which is cool. It's very chocolatey looking. It's got the wafer sword and the Oreo on top. This is the Mahi Mahi fish and chips. Just regular fish and chips. Nice and filling. This is the meat platter, which we shared. It was actually really good. The meat platter was very good. The yellow was like a honey mustard, and there was really nice marbling on the meat. The sausages had like fake bone props going into them. Like those aren't real bones. They're sausages with a fake bone stuck inside them. But this was nice. It was good to share too. Very tasty. This is the Spriggan takoyaki. There were 6 balls of takoyaki, and they're just covered in different sauces. There's two with the black sauce, two with the creamy sauce, two with the red sauce, but honestly, they all taste the same with a slight difference maybe. They have the wafer sprig and ears coming out of one of them for effect. This one was the Mombrita Eorzea drink, right? Because again, it's their theme for the Starlight Festival. Oh, this is the Mughal curry. Oh no, the Mughal Hamburg steak. I like the little cherry tomato they use for the palm. The Mughal face is just a little piece of paper with the Mughal's face printed on it, like an edible thing, and then they just lay it on top of the cheese afterwards. Oh yeah, the little noodle whiskers and antenna. Very cute. I had the pandemonium don. I was a little hesitant at first just because I wasn't sure which dish I wanted, but in the end, this thing was probably one of the most delicious things I had on the entire trip, to be honest. So underneath, there's like a little like bed of rice. It's got some sauce. It's covered in roast beef. It's got an egg on top. It's covered in honey mustard. It's basically the same beef that was in the meat platter, really. And then it has the pandemonium's face as a little wafer on top. And again, the wafers don't really taste like anything. They taste like communion from church. But yeah, this was really tasty. This was really tasty. More drinks. Got the Graha drink. It comes with two straws, and one of them has the scepter in it. And then this was the one of the Starlight Celebration drinks, the green one. This was the Paisa Mont Blanc. And actually, the plate was really pretty. I could tell from the plate. The plate itself is probably a completely like transparent plate, and then they painted it with gold around the edges. I could feel the painting on the underside of it, so it was not purchased with the paint on it, I'm pretty sure. So they got a transparent plate and they painted it gold around the edges, so it looks kind of like a almost like a halo. And it's got the Mont Blanc, it's got the paisa printed onto the wafer. It's got some chocolate, some fruits in the corner as decorative stuff. It was pretty. It was pretty. And then some dusted sugar. So Lork also got the Paladin drink, which has these two like white chocolate wings on it to represent like the passage of arms. And then also the Bismarck pancakes, which has the cotton candy clouds and the the waffle cone horn. We also got the Kanisena dessert to share. So it comes like this on the left, and then you remove the display jar, and then it looks like this underneath. They're very cute. The washroom in this place was also really nice. It was small, but they had so many amenities. You could see like individually wrapped Q-tips, and they had like all these different like lotions and soaps and things that you can use. So I had to take a picture of it. Kieran and Lork were like, "Kieran, you gotta go check out the bathroom. It's really cool." And I'm like, "Really? Okay." There was also a wall where you could like write a little message or draw a little picture and then post it. And then this is another one of the Monster Hunter display cases that I saw that I want to take a picture of. So because this place is also attached to the Grand Cipher Kitchen, we also look at that, and I end up buying some of the Grand Cipher Kitchen acrylic standees, but I'll show you them when we go to the Grand Cipher Cafe, just to keep the stream easier to manage. But I do buy them today, so I buy all the Grand Blue acrylics I wanted here today, and then the next day we come back and actually eat at the Grand Cipher Kitchen. Here's another picture from their website of some of the like plaques you can get from the loyalty program. So this is my part of my haul from the Eorzea Cafe. There's the 2 placemats. There's the business card of the place, New Year's postcard, and the little Odin Emma. So basically, again, you can take your placemat downstairs and get it laminated. There's a laminating machine. You have to pay them, and they give you the plastic sheets. You have to open up the plastic sheets, put your placemat inside, close it, and then run it through the machine. It's pretty easy, but the problem is like trying to if you're like me and you want your placemat like perfectly aligned with the plastic, it is a little bit difficult to get it perfectly aligned and come out perfect. Plus, the table to do it at is kind of small. There's 2 laminating machines, but again, if everyone finishes eating at the same time, because you all get seated at your appointment time, which is around the same time, that means a lot of people come down at the same time and need to use the laminating machine all at once. Furthermore, they gave us 2 placemats each this time instead of 1, so we had double the stuff to laminate. So we had 6 placemats to laminate instead of 2, or 6 instead of 3, because there's three of us and we each got 2. So luckily there aren't too many people waiting behind us. There's like one group afterwards that starts to wait, and there's one lady ahead of us who's just finishing up hers. But I feel like on a busy day, it'd be quite annoying to do. But luckily it wasn't that bad for us. But I do wish that there was an option just to buy the laminated placemat right off the bat instead of having to do it yourself. But it is nice that they offer this, because there are a lot of collab cafes where I think they just give you the placemat and then there's no option to go and laminate it. So it is nice. I just wish that it was a little more streamlined for people like me who like things being perfectly aligned and whatnot. Here are the coasters that I get. I didn't get a chance to take pictures of everyone's coasters, but these were the ones I got. So I got Graha, I got Garuda, Leviathan, and Ifrit. I got some patch artwork, and all the back sides of them have this picture here on the top right. I also got the Return to Evilise one, but I gave that one to Lord because he's a big Evilise fan. I think we all ended up getting the Nier one, though. I think we all got the Nier one. I really like the Endwalker artwork one I got, though. So we finished eating at the Eorzea Cafe, and we're still in Akiba, so we decide to just continue walking around and looking at stuff since we're here. And of course, there's a lot of shops around here selling anime stuff that we haven't checked out yet. So we stopped by the Ami Ami shop. If you know what Ami Ami is, I think a lot of Westerners might recognize it because it's one of the sites where you can buy a lot of anime merch and then ship it to North America online. Although again, shipping is expensive, but they do have like an entire shop here. And most of it is figures, but other stuff too. On the way there, I also see this Tales of sign we saw earlier in the yesterday's stream, or the stream from Friday, that I saw some other of these advertisements where it's like Tales characters dressed up in like idol outfits. So on the building, I see Kless and Stan here. Still trying to find the rest of them, but I see more of them. It's nice to see them so large and out in the open, though. There's like Nendoroids here in the Ami Ami shop. There's some Fire Emblem ones. There's a Metal Gear one with the cardboard box. There's this like Ibisu shark thing, which I think is kind of funny looking. From the shark Ibisu thing. Dreamy Yumchan, welcome in. Thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate it. We also find these, the Thinker posable statue. I don't know why you would want a posable action figure of the Thinker or like King Tut, but they had them. And then we also saw this one, the Aranea Highwind statue, which was one of the most expensive things we saw there. It was 42,900 yen. Which is crazy because right next to her was this, the motorcycle guy from Final Fantasy VII Remake, and he comes with the motorcycle and he's only 15,200. He's like a third of the price of Aranea, and he comes with a freaking motorcycle. And different like posable hands and stuff. I was super surprised to find this. I had to take a picture of it. If you don't know who this is, so this is a character from King of Fighters. His name is literally nameless. I think he's super cool. He's one of the coolest King of Fighters characters, and he hasn't appeared officially in another game since. The reason why he exists is because the original King of Fighters 2002 had a character in it that was kind of infringing on, like, he looked very much like I think it was like Akira, and because of that they got into like a copyright dispute with the rights to him, so they had to change him. So in King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match, which is like the re-release of that game, they replaced him with an original character named Nameless, who has almost the same moveset, but now no longer copyright infringing. And so he only appeared in this game, and I think he has a really cool design. And funny enough, the character that does have the copyright infringement did come back for a later game, although they changed his appearance a little bit and renamed him so that he no longer infringes on the copyright. But Nameless never came back, but he is kind of popular among like a very small niche of like fan artists just because he looks cool. And it's just a shame. So I was surprised to see that he had a figure, let alone one being sold here. Let alone there were multiple copies of him as well. I also had to explain to Lork about the Street Fighter situation with M. Bison, Vega, and Balrog, and how in Japanese all their names are switched around compared to the English versions, and they kept it like that, which makes it all the more confusing. Because Lork thought it was a typo at first, and I'm like, no, actually in Japanese all their names are switched around due to copyright. Also saw some Shin Megami Tensei stuff as well. Was happy to see that. Some fake Grand Order stuff as well. Sexy Ganondorf, of course. Also Mikoshiba Nendoroid, I was surprised to see. Nice to see some Nozaki-kun stuff. Always happy to see some Full Metal Alchemist. This is a pretty cool figure, and it comes with both of them, like a dual set. And then there's also a Danganronpa Celeste statue as well, which is also quite expensive. This one was just the paper for it too, like it wasn't actually on display. Ultima, the High Seraph, they had these. They had a lot of Bridget from Guilty Gear. Like, the entire Guilty Gear section, which wasn't that big, was almost all Bridget. Shin Megami Tensei 5 as well. I was surprised to see. There were metaphor figures too. There's Gallica and Juna. Fire Emblem Alear, I was surprised, also has a statue. Female Alear. Also, there's the sexy Celestia again. This time in a sexy outfit. Also, you can see Dimitri there in the background. They also had this like gigantic Rengoku, but it was inside the box and on the floor, and so it had a printout of what it looks like, because nothing on the box indicates what it would look like. But this thing was huge. It was like up to my knees. So I had to take a picture. I was like, that's gigantic. These just looked really cursed. I had to take a picture of them. They just looked really cursed. And these looked really cute, so I had to take a picture of these. There were these like tiny Godzilla figures, which were cute. Also, this like gigantic Full Metal Alchemist diorama, which was like at the entrance of the store. Super expensive, super cool looking. Very cinematic. Also, because it was New Year's, there were a lot of businesses that had like blind box red bags, and they were on the street selling them, and they were going like hotcakes. There were people like lining up everywhere for these, and it wasn't just this store, it was like a bunch of stores. I think the bags were at least labeled by series, so when you got a lucky bag, you would at least get something from the series that you want, but I would never buy like a blind box like this either. Like most of the time it's just like extra merch that they haven't been able to sell, so they're trying to like pawn it off in a deal, but like I wouldn't want to buy a bag where I don't know what's actually inside at all. But that's just me. Maybe they're really good deals, but people were clamoring for these. There were multiple stores doing this, and people were clamoring. So we also go to Kotobukiya, and they have some cool figures and merch as well. I saw some Gang Beasts collectible figures. I was very surprised to see Gang Beasts at all. We played Gang Beasts on the channel with Remy a couple years ago. These were cute. Those Street Fighter figures. So like right at the entrance of the store, there was like a bargain area, and I saw Tails stuff, Tales of Arise stuff, no less. And they had these like canvas prints. They had these canvases showing off each of the characters' like ending illustrations. And I thought these were really cool, and they were all in the bargain section. The ones on top have the canvas out so you can see, but all the boxes underneath have them packaged inside. So there's Law, Rinwell, and Dohalim. And I was very torn about whether I want to get one of these because the idea of a canvas print is pretty cool. But I also don't usually buy prints and also they're kind of large and they would take up space in my luggage. And so I was a little on the fence. But in the end, I end up getting one of them. I get the Law one. Also, because I haven't really seen much Law merch at all while I was in Japan. I saw the standee he had at the Tales Museum, and that was kind of it. I was kind of hoping to see more Law stuff. So, in the end, I decided to get it. Also, it was like on a really good deal. Like, I think it was like normally, according to the price tag, it was like normally 4,400 yen, and it was being sold for like 1,700, which is like less than half price. So, in the end, I decided to get it. They had Xenoblade 3 acrylics. Kind of tempted to get the Matthew one. I do like Matthew. He's a cool character. I was surprised to see they had ones for like some of the more minor characters too, or like the non-main characters like Nagiri, for example, or what's his name? Kaminabi, or like Mashiro, like a lot of these characters that join you once and then don't get any story relevance. I was surprised that they got stands. Or like Kamurabi, that's his English name. I was like, that's not the name I remember him having. Yeah, that's the Japanese version of his name. I also took a picture of these. These were kind of cursed looking. Hello Kitty with long legs. I don't know why. I saw acrylic standee of Bowman from Star Ocean 2. And it was the only piece of Star Ocean 2 merch I saw. It was just by itself. There were like at least 3 or 4 copies of it on the shelf. And it's kind of cool because it has this full artwork and also the sprite. But I was like, why is that the only piece of Star Ocean 2 merch? And why is it Bowman? Like, he's not even one of like the main characters. So I had to take a picture of it. Kingdom Hearts merch, of course. Some more Street Fighter acrylics. I was tempted to get more of these, but I had to hold myself off. There's the Luke one, which is the Street Fighter 5 version. And then the other one is the Street Fighter 6 version, but it was like a woodcut standee, which is kind of neat. And then they also had a Guilty Gear section. There's also like chibi Guilty Gear stuff. Pretty cute. I found the Trails section. There was like at least 2 shelves worth of Trails stuff, which is nice to see just because I know Trails is quite popular, but I hadn't actually seen that much merch for it. Or every time I go somewhere, there's only like a very small section of Trail stuff. They had like a handful of Joshua merch as well too, but it was like him in like the more recent games, not the first couple games. Hey Burr, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So more Trail stuff. There's like a group composition there. Pretty cool. They had this like Persona 5 set that was not for sale, just for display. By like limited time special outfits. There's like a giant Billy from Zenless Zone Zero. There was this really cool like Godzilla King Ghidorah souvenir jacket, and I was very surprised to see Unicorn Overlord figures as well. But it was just these three characters. Like there was no Elaine. It was just like the Elf sisters and Scarlet. I saw one set of Raincode blind boxes. Of course, Kieran and Lork were like, "Hero, come here! You have to see this. We found Raincodes." I'd take a picture of it. And then they also had Reborn stuff. Giant Chainsaw Man stuff in the display cabinet. Oh yeah, so this is the picture of the Law canvas print I end up getting. So this is what it looks like from behind. So it really is just a like a canvas stretched over like a wooden frame. It's really cool. I'm glad I bought it, especially because I got it on a good deal, but also it's quite large. Hey Gab, welcome in. So it is still New Year's Day. It's the end of the day. We decide to go back to unload our stuff, and we pass by the shrine. And by now, actually, like on the way back, we pass by the shrine, and there's still like a line of people. So we go back to the Airbnb, we drop off our stuff, we relax for a little bit, and then we leave to go have dinner. And so as we're leaving, by then the shrine is now mostly empty. It's quite late in the day. So we pass by the shrine again, this time hoping to do some New Year's prayers. We stop by and do like the hand washing ritual. We follow the instructions according to what we found on the internet, so we hope that we do it correctly and respectfully. It was quite nice at night though, like the lighting was very nice here. We line up and we do the ritual, you know, you throw the money in, you ring the bell, you pray. There's like a certain order you need to do all the things. So we have the instructions that we try our best to do it respectfully, and then we also pull a little fortune from the little fortune bin. Although the fortunes are all in Japanese, we use our phones to like Google translate them, and they're like poems, so they don't make complete sense in a direct translation. But it was cool. So we go back to Ikebukuro and decide to have our dinner. So we're looking around. We really want to have some barbecue. Specifically, we're looking for Wagyu stuff because they're like advertising Wagyu meat all over the place. So we find this place that's still open in Ikebukuro that is like basically it's like Korean barbecue, but they have some like a Wagyu menu to choose from. Okay, on the way there, I took a picture of like at the station. There's like a washroom station as well, with like a button that you can open and lock and close. And then there's also like this Pokemon merch vending machine that we find as well that's playing like Pokemon Legends EA ads on it. Okay, so we find our place to go get our barbecue. We line up outside. We find it like using reviews on like Yelp and Google reviews, but it seems like it's a really good price. And they have like different sets depending on which price you pay. So this is our grill. You order with the iPad, which is really nice. We start grilling our meat. I don't take too many pictures of us grilling the meat because it gets like, you know Korean barbecue. It gets kind of like messy after a while. So I took some pictures at the beginning where it still looked kind of clean-ish. It was really tasty though. Got some like egg drop soup. We also tried this like white peach makgeolli wine drink, which is it's okay. It's not like amazing. I like the peach flavor though. So the place we went to was like 4 floors tall, but each floor was very small. So here's a picture on the right side. This is after like we were one of the last people on the floor, like after everyone had left. Like it was full when we got here, but then after they left and cleaned up the tables, I wanted to take a picture of it. Basically, everything you see here on the right is everything on one floor, plus the table we're sitting at, which is behind the camera. That is the entire floor. It's just a bunch of tables packed together, your elbow to elbow, and then like a little busing station. And then the stairs immediately go down. to the point where our table is like on the other side of the stairs. So they have like a little window to go around the railing to get to us that is like right over the stairs. Like the poor server at one point is serving us, and she actually like turns around and almost falls down the stairs because of the step there, because our area is not actually like next to the landing of the stairs. Also, like Kieran is sitting right next to a door. Like our table's right up against a door, and at least 2 or 3 times during the night, the staff actually have to come by and ask him to move so they can get to the door behind him, which turns out to be like a laundry room. So this is like, I think this is the 4th floor, the highest one. Each floor was just so cramped. I can't imagine working in a place like this where you're basically just stuck being claustrophobic for the entire day in like a really hot environment like this. So we finish our drinks, and I want more. I want to have a second drink, and so I look on the menu and I see, lo and behold, the Cassis drink, which I already talked about before, which I had the days before, where I had Cassis milk and I had Cassis peach, which both turned out to be really good. So I decided to order Cassis. They have like 3 or 4 different varieties of Cassis. This time I decided to pick a Cassis orange. Spoiler alert, it doesn't taste that great. I enjoy the Cassis peach, I enjoy the Cassis milk. Cassis does not seem to go very well with orange. Something about it seems to bring out the acidity and the bitterness of the orange, and it just doesn't taste that great. So I thought that maybe Cassis is my new favorite alcoholic drink, but maybe I don't really like Cassis specifically. Maybe I just like the idea of fun juice that you mix with alcohol that is very mild, or maybe I just liked the other juices it came with. Either way, this is the 3rd Cassis type of the trip. Not really my thing, but it was a fun experience. Hey guys, welcome in. Damsel, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Please go check out Damselfly when you get a chance. Super cool streamer. You guys are playing some Overwatch 2 today. Hope you had a great time. Welcome in. Breb, welcome in. Shoja, Ube, Pickled Baby Beats, and Emerald, welcome in. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Oh, thank you so much for following me and being a froggy friend. I'm Kiro, the frog-themed martial artist. We are going over photos from my trip to Japan from last week, so feel free to sit back and relax, or go take care of yourself after your stream. I appreciate you being here. So yeah, we're eating, and we're eventually like some of the last people here, and so I take a picture of the empty tables just to show you how cramped this place really is. So on the left here, you can see how tight the stairwell is too. Like literally between each floor, it's just this tiny little stairwell that winds in the back. So big props to the people working there. Tiny, cramped environment, constantly going up and down stairs, hot environment. Do not envy them.